All men must die. That totally should have been the tagline for Game of Thrones to begin with. Alright, so last week we got a little bit of an uncharacteristically end, and now we're picking up right where we left off with a big old fight, but not one that's physical.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
Episode 4 of the final season of Game of Thrones. And woo-wee. Alright, I'm sure that in general this isn't the way the books are going to go, but very specifically, tonight's episode was one of those ones that felt like Martin was writing it. There's part of me that felt like this was a pretty good change. Now, in what ways was it? Well, it was mostly filler, and it was a bunch of things that I'm not sure I really cared about, but it led up to something, and all of the character development meant something. So all in all, I liked it. One of the first questions that you have to ask, though, is how many people can keep a secret? The general go-to answer is normally one, if more than one person knows. But we'll get into that in a minute. First, let me tell you what it is we do around here. I review stories like this. I come up with theories on how and why we tell stories. And right now I'm in the midst of doing an entire 3-part series on the continuity and how that goes. I get a big help from my patrons, and if this sounds interesting to you, click the subscribe button and join us as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Alright, pop psychology aside, there's quite a few things here that just stand out. The fact that we have the Gendry Arya stuff, we have what's going on with the entire army, and of course we have the fact that, oh yeah, this guy died last week, and kind of thought he was the big bad, didn't you? Yeah, well, joke's on us, because at the end of the day, HBO had a different plan, and this army and this fight wasn't the fight. There's a bigger one brewing. But alright, before I get any farther, let's throw this up there and get started.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
To a certain extent, I have to say I kind of agree with Davos. There were so many questions left unanswered, and then it seems like they just never will be. Yeah, we get some really good feel-good moments, we get character growth and payoffs to storylines that almost feel like they are epilogues. But of course it's not an epilogue. This is still going on. We still have episodes to go. 80-minute episodes at that rate. And as such, I'm left wondering, alright, so the big takeaway is that we've started losing characters again. So the plot armor they had last week kind of has worn off. But I have to say that there's also a certain amount of this feels like the story Martin wanted. The fact that there is a deadly threat, but the threat isn't supernatural. It's a threat anyone could face. It's the enemy within. But okay, so we have the question of, is Dany going to become a psycho? Is Dany the Mad Queen? And we are left with Tyrion and Varys having to debate morality. If there's two characters that don't have much morality, it's probably those two. But they ask an interesting question. Who would be a better ruler, Dany or Jon? And I'm left saying, neither of them. Jon's a bad leader. He messes up all the time. Dany's an egotistical, crazy leader that may just go crazy, burn them all. You know what? Out of these three, there's part of me that says that the guy in the center should have gotten the throne. But alright, there's a lot going on between the two of them, and a big dynamic is the fact that Jon is starting to tell people. Specifically, he's telling his family. And I love the fact that he swore them to secrecy after he was sworn to secrecy, but then Sansa immediately blabbed. And I am curious where all of this is going. Will next episode finish the Cersei threat and then us have to deal with Jon and Daenerys and who comes down on whose side? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of darkness in this. And yeah, we still have the heroes. And I did like the fact that Arya even said, I'm not a big fan of heroes. Because all she did was what had to be done. But at the end of the day, what had to be done was the Night King be destroyed. And she's the one that did it. So yay her. want to talk about her arc for a second too. Her and Gendry. There is part of me that thinks that this might actually be one of those things that Martin told them. Gendry or possibly one of the other bastards ends up with Storm's End. Gendry makes a lot of sense here. I especially liked the conversation with Arya where he made the mistake of proposing to her like a lady. Oh, I'm not a lady. Well, screw that then. Be my master at arms. Be my master of whispers. Just be my wife. And seriously, Gendry, was it that hard to say? Be my equal? Be my talented advisor? But I guess there's other problems there too. So, as of right now, we have King's Landing being pretty much just the Red Keep. And I do find it funny that the bad guys figured out how to use a castle better than the good guys did, because they were defending on the outside of their wall. Meanwhile, here in King's Landing, they were like, oh no, we're gonna just face the wall, and we're gonna be on the wall. As everything draws to a head, we have all sorts of little things coming. And as it does, I'm curious how this is going to end. But I'm also kind of curious what the hell happened to Ghost? I mean, seriously. Watching everyone as Jon left made me sit there and go, you know, the North is really where I want this story to end, not the South, not King's Landing. And with only a couple episodes to go, literally just a couple left now, what do you think? Do you think that we'll go back to the North and see that? Do you think we're going to have Cersei be the threat the whole time? Let me know down in the comment section. But in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind clicking that thumbs up button, and of course, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and join our little community here. I'm kind of baffled as to where we're going, but that's okay because that means it's going to give me more time to theorycraft. And a big thank you to all of you Patreons. And for now, I hope that you have a good night. 80 minutes down, 2 more to go. I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.